Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Adobe Illustrator scripting tutorial. In this one, I'm going to be showing you how to make a random color grid generator, and all you have to do is feed it the width and height of how many grids you want or how many rows and columns you want, and it's going to automatically create a layer for each of these random colors and fill in your whole artboard for you. So this is going to be a useful script that goes over a lot of useful things for Adobe Illustrator and scripting for Adobe in general, including how to create shapes, move them around, create random colors, and a bunch of other cool stuff. So before we get started, just want to remind you down below, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified for when new videos like this cool one comes out. And down in the description, you can download the code for this in the GitHub link. And down there as well, follow us on Instagram to be notified of when videos go live. If you haven't already joined our Discord server, we have a thriving community talking about scripting, extensions, plugins, expressions, and much more. Contribute tutorial ideas or other help. And of course, if you want to help support the channel in other ways on YouTube, you can become a VIP, premium supporter, or member and get cool perks along with helping me out. So without further ado, let's begin writing the script. We're going to open a new JavaScript file, and the first thing we're going to do is create a function that we can simply run and then give it how many boxes of width we want and how many boxes high we want, and it's going to automatically generate it. So we'll define a new function here called generate color grid, and we'll go ahead and create our function definition here, and we'll go ahead and close it with our parentheses and brackets. And all we need to do now is for arguments give it our width and height, or better yet, we can call it our rows and columns. And the reason we want to do that is so that we can just call it now and say generate color grid, and all we have to do is supply it with two numbers of how many rows and how many columns we want. So now we just need to set up a few variables. One is going to be our document, which is our artboard to contain all this, and then another is a variable to store whatever the randomized color is going to be. So I'll say var random color is equal to a new RGB color object. And we'll have a tutorial coming out soon in depth on the RGB and CMY color objects, defining them and using them in depth. But basically now we're going to also create a document variable for our document and set this equal to app.documents, and I'm going to add a document, a brand new one. Then if we want, we can change the name of our document, and we can just call this maybe our color grid. And actually let's also insert our rows and add our columns as well, and you could just add these in as a little extra information if you wanted to, and this will basically create color grid 30 by 30 or whatever bounds you give it. And then also I'm going to grab my document and change the color space to be RGB. You can choose whether the color space of any document is RGB or CMYK, which will help you better pick which color types and things you'll need. So I'll say document color space is equal to a document color space object, and that's just followed by .cmyk, or in our case RGB, and this will set everything to be RGB format. So if you run this, not a lot's going to happen. It's going to create a blank document with all of the settings we've initially set up. Now what I want to do is make a variable for the width and height of each of our boxes. We know how many rows and columns we need, so all we need to do to get the width of each of those items is divide the entire document width divided by our columns or rows, and the entire document height divided by that. So I'm going to say var width is equal to something, and var height is equal to something. For the width, I'm going to grab our document.width and divide it by the number of columns, because the width, which is how wide something is in this axis, the columns are what define the space filling for that, and for rows, the height is what defines that as well. So basically, the width is going to be document.width divided by columns, and the height is going to be the other, which is the height divided by the rows. So if I was to run this and grab my width and then grab my height, it's going to tell us the dimensions of what each rectangle or square we're going to create needs to be. In our case, the width needs to be 20.4 and the height 26.4. Now I'm going to create a couple more variables that are going to be filled up with something each time we create a shape and fill it in. So we're going to need something to represent a new layer. We're going to make a new layer for each color. We're also going to make a rectangle shape on each color. And then we want a counter, which will start at value 0. And this is what we're going to use to count how many of these shapes we've created. And then we also want this x set equal to 0, and this y instead equal to 0. This is going to represent the sort of position or translation required to move our rectangle, because by default all of our rectangles are going to appear in one spot, and then as we loop through all of our rows and columns, we need to start translating them, which we're going to use these variables for. So how do we loop through all of the items necessary? We have, let's say, 30 rows and 30 columns that we need to create. So to do this, we're going to create two for loops, one inside of the other. And to make things easy, we'll say var x is equal to 1. And while x is less than or equal to our columns, increment x by 1. And then the one inside is going to be for the y. Var y is equal to 1. For y is less than or equal to our rows, increment y by 1. And simply put, this is going to loop through row by row and column by column, hitting every single one of these required points. And we're going to have to do a few checks along the way, because let's say we're running along the rows here, going boom, 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 boom. When we hit the end here, normally it would just keep generating the colors past here. So once we get to the end of the row or the end of the column, depending on which order you fill them in, we're going to need to reset the position back to the beginning of that row or column. So there's a lot of little things that you'll kind of experiment with as you set up these for loops and see how you can kind of manage filling in a space like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my counter and increment it, because this is representative of a new layer being created. So we're going to add one to our layer counter, and then we're going to say layer, our defined thing up here, is equal to our app.document, or actually we can just grab our document, .layers.add. Now that will add a layer, which we have stored in this layer variable, and I'm going to set the name of our layer equal to our counter. So it's going to be layer 1, and in fact I could say layer plus counter, and that will give me layer 1, layer 2, etc., etc. So if we were to run this, it should generate all of the layers for us, and as you can see, we have 900 layers it's just created, each with their own unique color and unique name. So now instead of just having layers, each time through we're also going to create a rectangle, move it, and give it a random color until we have everything filled in. So if you don't know how to create a rectangle, make sure you check out last week's video and it will explain how you can do that. But what we're going to do is grab our rectangle variable, set that equal to our layer.pathItems, and we're going to create a rectangle. We want this square to appear at the top left corner of our screen, and usually it will by default appear at the bottom left. So what we want to do is add the height of the document to move it up to here, and then as we go along we're going to distribute them like this. So what we can do is set the top here to our document.height, and we don't need to change the left because it's already along the left side. And then for the width and height, we already have these set up, remember, we have our width and height variables. So now if we run this, it's going to create all 900 of those layers, but this time it's going to create a rectangle in the top left corner. Now let's create a random color. To do this, we're going to grab our random color object, and our RGB random color has a red, a green, and a blue property channel. So I'll say random color.red, random color.green, and random color.blue. And we're going to set each one of these channels equal to a random value between 0 and 255. In order to do that, I'm just going to say math.floor, which will round whatever number we have. And then we're going to say math.random, and we need to call it, and multiply that by 255. Math.random will generate a random number between 0.0 and 1.0. And if we multiply 0 by 255, we get 0. And if we multiply 1 by 255, we get 255. Thus, that will generate any random number between 0 and 255. We're going to do the same thing for all of these here, for red, green, and blue. And now we need to set this color as the fill of each of our squares. So I'm going to say rectangle.fill color is equal to our random color. And to make sure the fill is enabled, which is a setting you need to make sure, we're going to also grab our rectangle and say filled is equal to true. So now this actually should work. It should generate 900 layers, each with their own unique color. As you can see, we have a bunch of different layers here, but the problem is they're all in the same position. So now what we need to do is during this loop, each time through, we need to move them to their proper position. So now what we're going to do is take our rectangle and we're going to translate it from its original position. The original position is this top left corner. So the first thing we want to do is translate it by whatever the width is. We want to move it by the width and then set that as our new initial value. Essentially, we want to start adding up all the things we've added together in this y and this x, and then we will have a sequence like this. So we're going to translate this rectangle, this x, and this y. So the first time through, this x and this y is equal to 0. So the very first rectangle is going nowhere. It's staying in the top left. But the next time, the second iteration, we need to increment our x. So I'm going to say this x plus equals, which means is equal to itself plus something, and I'm going to add the width to it. But this is inside of the wrong for loop. This is inside of the rows for loop, and since we're dealing with the columns here, we need to add it outside of here. So instead, each column, or each row here, sorry, we need to change this y, and plus equals our height. So now if we run this, it should increment our height and our width, but there should be one slight problem, or maybe a few slight problems. So this is how it's looking. It's doing the right thing, but it's messing up in a bit of a strange way. So it is creating our different columns here. You can see there's a column of 30 boxes, but it's continuing on and on and on. This means that we need to reset a value every new row or every new column. And also these need to be going the opposite way. So we'll subtract our height, which should give us the same effect going downwards. And indeed it does. So each time we start a new column here, the y value needs to be reset. So in order to reset it, we'll just outside of our row, we're going to say this y is back equal to 0. And this, I believe, should fix it so that every new column we have, it's going to set back to the beginning. And as you can see, now we've successfully created our color grid. One thing I did want to try that I didn't do in the original example is disable the stroke. So let's grab the rectangle.stroked and set it equal to false. This should make it more of just a color blob with none of these black outlines to intersect with each other. And as you can see, that creates a more just pure color look and a different design. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. That's how to create a random color grid generator inside of Adobe Illustrator with a script. You can mess around further with this. I found the upper limit for processing is probably around 200 by 200, and then it starts to freeze as it's generating so many layers. But if you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button down below, hit subscribe and the bell icon to be notified of when new videos come out on the channel, and down in the description you can check out the code for this in the GitHub link. Make sure to follow us there and follow us on Instagram to get notified of when videos go live as well. Make sure you join the Discord server and get help with scripting, extensions, plugins, expressions, and much more, and become a member on YouTube to help support the channel and get cool perks as a member, supporter, premium supporter, or a VIP. Thanks again for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.